So you started the St. Louis Pine Derby, or fishing derby?
Yes, I started St. Louis Fish Derby in 1998. And that first year we had about 80.
Let me get you the here are the keys. Brave. So you said you had one guy who came out early and did some, painting the lines and stuff.
Oh yeah, I take the 2 days before the Derby, I take them off to get ready because my house turns into a warehouse. I mean, it took 5 pickups and a trailer to haul all the prizes out last year. And I was loading the trailer and stuff up. It was about 1:45 in the morning Saturday. I heard a guy painting with an air compressor. I jumped on my bike and went downtown. The guy painting lines on the sidewalk, the curves and stuff. Boy, that's strange this time of night. He says, "You don't understand this. There's a fish derby tomorrow. It brings hundreds of people to town, and we got to have the place really spruced up." Velsico, they were good for the employment, bad for the environment, just terrible. I mean, they would dump things in the river on short notice. They just dump it in there. They discharge stuff into the air.
Yeah, you saw them when they were.
They would discharge stuff. It was so bad and so thick that as a youngster riding a bike, I rode my bike right into the side of a car. I couldn't see it. It was parked on the side of the road. It's just like a real heavy fog. And stuff into these gardens would die. Aluminum screens, you could just brush them, and they were oxidized. In the early 70s, they came to town, and DNR at that time took cage fish studies. And the cages were actually dissolved in caustic.
And that was solid metal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I imagine it's galvanized, so galvanized reacted a little bit more.
Fish derby, and I am going to ask you a lot about that.
Okay.
Don't worry. So, what kind of prizes do you have? What do you have going on there?
I have a bank that gives a $50 savings bond. I have groups like Safari Club International. They'll give $600-700 worth of prizes. Just tell me to go to Jay's or someplace, pick out what I want, and they'll write the check for it. Ranger Boats sent a bunch of T-shirts. Gary Yamamoto Lures sent like 50 pounds of rubber worms. It's that kind of thing. The industries are really picking up on it, and the more I can give away, the happier I am. If I can make sure everybody walks away with a decent prize, and the prizes is nice and everything. I get a lot of like single moms, and they'll come to the Derby and they have one rod. Well, 2 years ago, I wrote a grant for $1,000, and we bought 50 rods and reels and tackle boxes. So we have loaner equipment. You come to the Derby, and if you haven't got a rod and reel, we'll hook you up with a rod and reel. And if you need somebody to teach you how to use it, we got people to teach you how to use it. We tag 6 fish down here below the dam, and out at Lapine Park, we'll tag 6 out there or more. And those are for a big prize, tackle box full of lures and stuff. Every fish that's caught is measured in weight. Everybody at Fishes has a back tag, and every one of those fish is logged on there. And I'm proud to say that in the last 9 derbies, we have lost maybe a handful of fish is all it's died. It's catch and release, and no sense of just killing them off for the fun of it. I mean, if you can't eat them, there's no sense of killing them.
Yeah. So that's another interesting thing. Nobody can eat any of the fish at the Derby.
No, you can't eat the fish. We do keep a free styrofoam cooler with some ice, and if we get a fish that would have a tumor or something, we would freeze it and send it to DNR. It's you can advance register, and you can also sign up that morning. They fish from 9 to 12. We start taking registrations about 7:30. This last year we had 170, 180 register that morning. We started out with a crew of about 10 guys doing it. It's up to about 30 now.
There was some dredging done by the EPA on like the bottom and stuff.
Right. In the background you can see the steel pilings they put in when they sectioned it off and excavated it. it averages 25 to 30 feet deep. Where they cleaned up the river, where it's only a couple feet deep, they took out that much sediment. And you know, that's a lot of water in here.
But it's gotten cleared up. You noticed
It's cleared up. I've been out there several times in a boat, and if you didn't know you were in a polluted river, you'd never realize it because it's clean down there. The geese are probably taking over in the background. We get hundreds of those in here at this time of year. They migrate into here. And one of my concerns is I've asked EPA and I've asked DEQ, have you tested any waterfowl? No, we haven't. They just stop here. Well, you know, fish just swim here too.
Yeah. Oh, so let's see.
You want to talk a little bit about the publicity and the media that's been through here and what that's done for the town?
You know, we've had some real raw deals with the media. You know, they don't report all the facts, and for a long time, it was convinced the city that the bad's got to come out before the good's happening, and the truth is coming out, and we're seeing action from the bad coming out. You know, the fish derby has attracted outdoor writers. Ron St. Germain from Lansing did an article on the fish derby, Life on the Dead River, and he won a national title for recognition for an environmental fishing story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, there was an article called "Toxic Town."
Yeah, there's an article, Toxic Town, and there's been several different articles.
Mm-hmm. How has it been, you know, trying to, live in a town that, you know, is, I mean, it's clearly not your fault, but, you know, it must be hard to...
Well, in the 70s, when they did this the first time, we were alienated. Nobody talked to us. Mm-hmm. And I guess we've got street smart, you know. If I have to go over there and handcuff myself to that fence, I'll do it because they're not getting out of town without cleaning this thing up right this time.
Yeah.
You know, it's not gonna. They're not gonna leave town. I'm not gonna let them.
Yeah. So would you say that, I mean, you know, you guys are kind of looking towards the positive now, though?
Well, you know, when EPA came to town and said they were going to do this cleanup 10 years ago, they joked about it and said, in 5 years, we'll be having a fish fry at Penny Park. Well, we're 10 years and we haven't had a fish fry with fish out of the Pine River. Yeah. We may be 20 years before we have a fish fry out of the Pine River, but, you know, I learned some good words from a friend of mine that I did a lot of fishing with. And Kyle's words are, every generation has responsibility to the next, and it's our turn to make sure that next generation gets a turn. And even my grandkids, they're involved in the fish derby. They're having a fit because the river's not clean.
Yeah, because, I mean, they've got an inheritance.
They have an interest in this thing, you know. I grew up in St. Louis, and we always had a carp contest. And when that store closed, it was gone. You know, people still fish, nothing like they do nowadays. I mean, there's people down here practicing fishing as soon as the ice is out. They're down here fishing, getting ready for the fish derby. It's a big event. I have one of the guys I went to school with. His son says, you know, fish derby's as good as going to Cedar Point, Dad. You know, that's the big event for the summer.
Mm-hmm.